Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome back to this series of lectures on endocrine system. And today we will discuss about the endocrine glands. We will see what are the endocrine glands which are present in our body. Okay, so we all know that there are two types of glands present in our body. One is what we are going to discuss about today, that is the endocrine glands. And the second is exocrine glands. Okay, so we have two types of glands in our body. One is the endocrine glands and the second is exocrine glands. So before we see what are the endocrine glands which are present in our body, let's first see the basic difference between these two types of glands, the endocrine and the exocrine glands. Okay, so exocrine glands, they secrete their secretions. Okay, they secrete their products or secretions into certain ducts. Fine. And these ducts are actually linked to these exocrine glands, and these ducts take their secretions or products to their target sites. Okay, and the target site can be any body cavity. It can be the lumen of any organ, or it can be the outer surface of the body. Okay, for example, we have the salivary glands. Okay, we have salivary glands which are playing an important role in the digestion, and salivary glands secrete saliva. Okay, so salivary glands, they secrete saliva, and that saliva is secreted into salivary ducts. And from these ducts, this secretion is taken into the oral cavity. That is one of the body cavity. Okay, that is taken into the oral cavity, and this is the example of the exocrine gland, that is the salivary gland. Fine. Then we have certain gastrointestinal glands. Certain gastrointestinal glands, for example, we have exocrine pancreas. Okay, why I call it as exocrine pancreas? Because we have the pancreas playing the endocrine functions as well. Okay, so exocrine pancreas, that means the pancreas has the acinar cells inside which secrete pancreatic juice. Okay, that pancreatic juice contains bicarbonate ions, that contains certain enzymes, okay, certain digestive enzymes which actually helps in digestion. And that pancreatic juice by the acinar cells is secreted into pancreatic ducts, and from this pancreatic duct, that secretion is taken into the lumen of duodenum. Okay, that is taken into the lumen of duodenum, that is the lumen of small intestine. Okay, so that is the example of the exocrine glands. Then we have the sweat glands. Fine, sweat glands, and sweat gland जो है that secretes the secretions into ducts, and from those ducts the secretion is taken to outer surfaces of the body. Okay, but when we talk about the endocrine glands, as already mentioned in the last class, that is, these endocrine glands, they secrete hormones. Okay, and these hormones are secreted into interstitial fluid. Okay, that is the fluid outside these secretory cells, outside these endocrine secretory cells, and from this interstitial fluid, the hormones go into the blood circulation. Okay, and through this blood circulation, these hormones are delivered to different target cells throughout the body. Okay, I hope you got the difference. The endocrine glands send their secretions to the target cells throughout the body through the blood circulation, and the exocrine glands, they send their secretions to the target organs via the ducts, and the target destination can be any body cavity, it can be any lumen of any organ, it can be the outer surface of the body. Fine. Now we see that endocrine glands, they send their secretions, okay, that is the hormones, via the blood circulation. That is why these endocrine glands are highly vascular organs. That means they are surrounded by lots and lots of blood vessels or blood capillaries, okay, because they have to send their secretions via the blood circulation. Fine. So this is the basic difference between the endocrine glands and exocrine glands. Now we have actually different cells in our body which are secreting hormones. Fine. Which are actually the part of endocrine system, but we have certain glands which are called as endocrine glands. Fine. So which are actually called as major endocrine glands. But apart from those major endocrine glands, as already mentioned, we have other different organs which have these cells which secrete hormones, or we have different cells in our body which actually secrete hormones. Fine. So but let's first focus on the list of major endocrine glands. Major endocrine glands. And when we talk about the major endocrine glands, the first gland which should be mentioned is what we call as master gland also, that is the pituitary gland. Okay. Now this pituitary gland, it is present there in one small cavity in the sphenoid bone, that is the bone of the cranium, and that small cavity that is called as sella turcica, which we will be discussing in the upcoming classes. But this pituitary gland actually has two parts. One is the anterior pituitary, and the second is posterior pituitary. Okay, so let's first see the hormones which are secreted by the anterior pituitary gland. Anterior pituitary. Fine. So anterior pituitary जो है, that releases certain important hormones. One is the growth hormone. Growth hormone. Okay, then second is thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone. As the name indicates, it actually stimulates thyroid gland to secrete the thyroid hormones, that is T3 and T4. Okay, then we have third one, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, and the fourth one is follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, then the fifth one is, let me write it here. Fifth one is luteinizing hormone. And the sixth one is prolactin. Okay, so we have these 6 hormones which are secreted by anterior pituitary. We have different types of cells actually present in the anterior pituitary, and those different types of cells secrete different types of hormones. Okay, suppose we have somatotropes which secrete growth hormone, we have the thyrotropes which secrete thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, and we have other 4 types of cells also which secrete these 4 types of hormones. Fine. So these are the 6 hormones which are secreted by anterior pituitary. We have growth hormone, which is in short written as GH. Then we have TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. We have ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Then we have FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. We have LH, luteinizing hormone. Then we have prolactin. Okay, so these are the 6 hormones which are secreted by anterior pituitary. Then we have the second part of pituitary gland, that is the posterior pituitary. Posterior pituitary. Okay, so posterior pituitary gland actually secretes 2 important hormones. One is the antidiuretic hormone. Fine, and then the second is oxytocin. So these are the 2 important hormones which are secreted by the posterior pituitary. So in general, pituitary gland that secretes 8 hormones, 6 are secreted by the anterior pituitary and 2 are secreted by the posterior pituitary. Then the second major endocrine gland is our thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. Okay, and thyroid gland actually secretes 3 important hormones. Fine. Thyroid gland secretes 3 important hormones. The first one is T3. Okay, T3, that is triiodothyronine, and then we have T4. Okay, this is called as triiodothyronine T3. Then we have T4, that is tetraiodothyronine. And the third is, that is called as calcitonin. Fine. So these are the 3 hormones which are secreted by the thyroid gland. Okay, triiodothyronine, tetraiodothyronine, and calcitonin. Then behind this thyroid gland, we have one important gland that is called as parathyroid glands. Parathyroid. Okay, and this parathyroid gland secretes one important hormone that is called as parathormone. Okay, parathormone, which has got one important function in our body, that is the calcium homeostasis. Then we have जो मैंने exocrine glands में example दी थी, pancreas. Okay, then we have pancreas, as mentioned already. The pancreas plays both the exocrine function as well as the endocrine functions. Okay, pancreas जो है exocrine functions were performed by the acinar cells, and the endocrine functions the endocrine functions are performed by islets of Langerhans. Okay, islets of Langerhans are there present in the pancreas, and this secrete three important hormones. One is the insulin, the second is glucagon, and the third is somatostatin. Fine. So we have pancreas secreting three important hormones: insulin, glucagon, and somatostatin, and these are secreted by three different types of cells of islets of Langerhans. Okay. Then we have the next one, that is the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland, which is also called as suprarenal gland, that means it is present over the kidneys. Okay, and adrenal glands, just like the pituitary gland, it has also got two parts. One is the adrenal cortex, and the second is adrenal medulla. Okay, adrenal cortex, it secretes certain important hormones. The first one is aldosterone. Okay, then it secretes glucocorticoids. Okay, glucocorticoids is the cortisol or corticosterone, and then it also secretes some sex hormones. Okay, let me write it here: cortisol and corticosterone. These are the glucocorticoids which are secreted by the adrenal cortex, and then there are sex hormones which are also secreted, and we have androgens, we have estrogen, and we also have progesterone. Fine. So these are the important hormones which we have to talk about in the upcoming lectures, which are secreted by the adrenal cortex. So we have the mineralocorticoids, that is the aldosterone. Then we have glucocorticoids, that is cortisol, corticosterone. Then we have sex hormones secreted by adrenal cortex, the androgens, estrogen, and progesterone. Then we have the second part of adrenal gland, that is the adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla. And adrenal medulla secretes three important hormones. The first one is epinephrine or adrenaline. The second is norepinephrine. And the third is the dopamine. Fine. So these are the major endocrine glands. So major endocrine glands, we have seen the pituitary gland, and pituitary gland has anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Then we have seen the thyroid gland. Then we have seen the parathyroid gland. We have seen the pancreas. We have seen the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland has two parts: adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Then we have the other organs in our body, okay, which secrete the hormones. Okay, first we will see the hormones secreted by gonads. Hormones secreted by gonads. That means the reproductive organs which has got the reproductive function, but they secrete these hormones. Okay, in males we have the testes. Okay, in males we have testes, and these testes जो है they secrete the hormone testosterone. Okay, they secrete testosterone, and they also secrete dihydroxytestosterone. Dihydroxytestosterone. And in females we have ovary, and this ovary secretes estrogen and progesterone. We have seen the same hormones being secreted by adrenal cortex, okay, but they are also secreted by these gonads, that is the ovary. Okay, so these are the hormones which are secreted by the reproductive organs or the gonads. Then we have certain other organs in our body, okay, which has the cells, and those cells जो है they secrete hormones. Fine. Other organs. Which secrete hormones. Fine. The first one is pineal gland. This pineal gland actually you can include as major endocrine glands also, and this pineal gland secretes one important hormone, that is the melatonin. Okay, then we have second organ, that is the thymus. Okay, and this thymus secretes the hormones thymosin. Thymosin and thymin. Fine. Then we have the third organ, that is the kidney. Okay, kidneys जो है they secrete certain important hormone poietin. Erythropoietin, that is, which is the important factor for the process of erythropoiesis. Then we have renin. Okay, that is the important hormone which is secreted by the kidneys, that is used in the regulation of blood pressure. And the third is calcitriol. Okay, so we have the organs which secrete hormones. We have the pineal gland. As I have already told, you can mention this pineal gland as the major endocrine gland also. And then we have thymus, that secretes thymosin and thymin. Then we have the kidneys secreting important hormones, erythropoietin, renin, and calcitriol. Then we have one more organ which is secreting hormones, that is the placenta. Okay, this placenta secretes one important hormone that is called as HCG. Okay, that is human chorionic gonadotropin. Human chorionic gonadotropin. it also secretes estrogen, it also secretes progesterone, and it also secretes one more hormone, that is human chorionic somatomamotropin. Okay, we have the placenta secreting three important hormones: HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin, then estrogen, progesterone, and we have human chorionic somatomamotropin. Okay, these are the hormones which are secreted by placenta. Fine. Then we have certain local hormones also. Okay, we have certain local hormones which are secreted by different cells in our body. Okay, suppose we have prostaglandins. Okay, we have the thromboxanes. We have the leukotrienes. We have the heparin. We have histamine. Then we have serotonin. Okay, and few more actually, which are secreted by different cells in our body, which are actually considered as the part of endocrine system. Fine. So today we have seen the different glands, different endocrine glands which are present in our body and their secretions. Okay, and we have divided these secretions into various divisions. We have seen the major endocrine glands. Then we have seen certain other organs which are acting as the endocrine glands, or which have the cells which secrete hormones. Then we have seen hormones secreted by the gonads, and we have seen these hormones, local hormones, which are secreted by different cells in our body. Okay, so this was the outline of the endocrine glands in our body and their secretions. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like this and share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do it. And press the bell icon so that you can watch my upcoming videos. Thank you. See you in the next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz.